Welcome and thanks for joining us for another Friday Night Football recap. I'm Drew Sanders, solo this week as 16 Sports Director Julianne Pelusi is in Kentucky for Notre Dame's top 25 battle against Louisville. But here at home, we're just 1 week away from the regular season finale for Indiana high school football, and it certainly felt like it this Friday night. Temperatures sitting in the 40s for a lot of our games in the area on Friday. That includes out at New Prairie High School as the Cougars hosted the Penn Kingsman. Two NIC heavyweights, and it was a slow start as Kingsman's Nolan McCullough here going for a QB sneak for a small gain. Nothing crazy, but the Kingsman offense is interested in wearing you down. New Prairie student section, though, out in full force, bringing the energy for their squad. A little bit later, Kingsman now in New Prairie's red zone as they hand it off to running back Jacob Bayless, and it looks like another short gain. He shows off some strength and some moves there, breaking a few tackles. He takes it in for 6 points as Penn takes an early lead in a crucial contest for the conference. The team will go for 2 points with a QB sneak as they try to widen that gap out a little bit, and that'll put them up 8-0 and place momentum firmly on the Kingsmen's side. And that Penn defense is certainly a beast to deal with as well. A little bit later in the game, New Prairie's quarterback Marshall Kamichik looking to pass on the outside, but he never gets it off. Linebacker Evan Witten makes the takedown in the backfield. Kingsmen win all facets of this one as they take a commanding shutout victory, 22-0. With that, let's get a look at the conference standings in the East-West Division of the NIC. I don't want to spoil some later results, so here's where things stood coming into Friday. Now, Penn secures the #1 spot with that win over New Prairie. Elkart and Marian right behind them, and those teams actually faced off tonight, so we'll get to them in a second. But first, two teams out of the NIC's North-South Division squaring off tonight at Jackson Intermediate here in South Bend as Riley hosts Breman. Low-scoring first half. Looked like we were ready to go to the break with the Wildcats up 8-3, but Breman has other plans. This deep ball down the right side is caught by Tyrus Graverson, one of the state's top receivers right now. He trots across the goal line for Breman's first score of the night. Two-point conversion failed, though, giving us a 9-8 halftime score. Some of the Wildcats got to miss the halftime speech to participate in homecoming festivities. Must have been a heck of a speech, though, because the Wildcats came out on fire. Third quarter, Breman tries to go deep again. This time it's picked off. Montreal Northern getting some revenge for that earlier touchdown. Wildcats get it rolling on offense as well. Midway through the third quarter, they'd punch in another score with this Dominic Jolly touchdown run out to the right side. And their defense would show up again before we reach the fourth. Lions again trying through the air, and again the ball falls into the hands of the Wildcats. Riley holding on to win and clinch the NIC North-South crown with just a week left to play. Final score in South Bend, 22-9. We don't have to travel far to get to our next game. Mishawaka Marian hosting Elkart. Pair of teams hovering around 500 so far this season. Knights with a 2-touchdown lead early, but Elkart's determined not to let the game slip away. Here, running back Connor Dow slips away for a nice run up the middle to put the Lions on the doorstep. And not long after, Dow's the one to kick the door down. Lions narrow the gap to 14-7 with that touchdown. Marian, though, would get right back in the red zone with their ensuing kick return. And after a few tries, they'd power their way across the goal line as well. Extra point no good, though, so it's 20-7. Now, Elkart had another chance before half to trim that gap with their offense. This Marian defense was swarming the ball all night, swarming that play out to the right, and they were all over the field as Marian knocks down Elkart by a final score of 27-14. And let's swing it over to downtown South Bend. Culver Academy's over at St. Joe. Another pair of teams hovering around 500. St. Joe holding a 13-0 lead in the third, but still anybody's ball game. Here, Culver quarterback Michael McColgan goes for the snap, looks to pass, but he's rushed and sacked by that St. Joe defense. They swarm the ball and continue to make life hard for the Eagles. So they decide, let's go to the run game. This time, the pitch out of the option. Tay Rodriguez turns a pretty good run into an excellent one, breaking 1, 2, 3 different tackles and showing off the speed in the open field. He goes for a big run for 6. There's a St. Joe defender right there, but he wouldn't be able to catch him. But it'd be just 6 as Culver misses the extra point, so the score here is 13-6 in favor of St. Joe. And boy, did it not take long for St. Joe to respond. On the ensuing kickoff, actually, Hayden Miller makes the catch around the 15-yard line, finds some space over on that left side, and he's off to the races. He takes this return all the way back for another home team touchdown, putting his squad up 20-6 after the extra point. That's the score we'd finish with. The St. Joe improves to 4-4 on the year with the win. That's a ton of NIC action, but we've also got our eyes on the Northern Lakes Conference this year, which right now has a 3-way tie atop the conference. You can see two of the teams involved here, Warsaw and Mishawaka, both picking up wins tonight to stay in the hunt for a conference title. The third team in that tie is Northridge, who also won tonight against Plymouth. Meanwhile, up in Michigan, the war by the shore this year was a bore. St. Joe Bears knocked down the Lakeshore Lancers 35-0 in their iconic rivalry matchup. Meanwhile, the Niles Vikings continue to stomp a mud hole in whoever dares cross their path. 49-0 win over Edwardsburg pushes Niles to 6-1 on the year. We've got a ton more scores from around the area. For a full list of those from around Michiana, just head to WNDU.com and click on the Sports tab. Now, the Fighting Irish football team takes the field Saturday night at 7:30 on ABC. As for right now, 16 News Now will be right back after this break with a final look at your forecast. But first, your lottery numbers. Good luck.